Wow.
12-year-old Mateo lived in a dusty, crowded street in a quiet suburb on the edge of Lisbon. Life wasn't easy for him. His father worked long shifts in a mechanic's garage, and his mother sold handmade bracelets at the local market. But Mateo had one obsession that made the struggles bearable: Cristiano Ronaldo. Posters of Ronaldo, some hand-drawn, covered the cracked walls of his bedroom. He studied Ronaldo's moves from YouTube clips on a shared neighborhood phone, practicing them in the alley with a flat football. His greatest dream wasn't fame or money. It was simple: to meet his idol once, just once, and tell him, "You made me believe in myself." One evening, news swept through the city that Ronaldo would be playing a charity match at Estadio da Luz. Mateo's heart raced. This wasn't just any match. It was in his city. Tickets were being sold for €100, far beyond what his family could afford. He asked his father, who only smiled sadly, and said, "One day, son, but not now." Mateo didn't cry. He just nodded, stared at the stadium's poster on the wall, and whispered to himself, "There must be another way." As match day drew closer, the excitement in Lisbon grew like wildfire. Streets were decorated with Ronaldo banners, and fans lined up for autographs outside hotels. Mateo couldn't stay home. He packed a small backpack with a water bottle, a biscuit, and a homemade sign that read, "Ronaldo, I believe because of you." On the morning of the match, he left before sunrise, telling his mom he was going to watch the stars from the gates. His plan was simple: wait outside the stadium all day, hoping for a miracle. He sat on the pavement near Gate C, his small frame almost invisible among the bustling crowd. Security guards told him to move, vendors tried to sell him tickets he couldn't afford, some fans gave him odd looks, but he never moved from his spot. The noise, the heat, the ache in his legs, none of it mattered. He believed that if he waited long enough, the universe would notice, and somewhere deep inside, he hoped Ronaldo might too. As evening fell and the floodlights lit the sky, a man in a blue suit noticed Mateo clutching his sign tightly. The man was Marcelo, a photographer for a sports magazine. He'd seen hundreds of fans, but something about Mateo's eyes, unwavering, determined, made him pause. "Waiting for someone?" he asked casually. "Ronaldo," Mateo replied with quiet pride, "but I don't have a ticket." Marcelo asked why he didn't go home, and the boy simply said, "Because going home without trying would be worse than never coming." Marcelo smiled. He snapped a photo of Mateo, touched by his sincerity. He said, "Maybe your photo will reach the right eyes." Mateo didn't understand what that meant, but he smiled anyway. Marcelo uploaded the picture with a caption, "This boy has no ticket, just hope, faith, and a hero. At Cristiano, maybe he deserves to meet you." That post, unknowingly, would change everything. As the match kicked off, Mateo could hear the roar of the crowd from outside. He closed his eyes and imagined himself in the stands, watching Ronaldo glide across the pitch. Meanwhile, inside the VIP suite, Cristiano Ronaldo himself was checking his phone during halftime. Tired of the usual buzz, he scrolled absent-mindedly, until he saw the photo Marcelo had posted. He paused. He zoomed in. That face, that sign, something about it tugged at his heart. Without hesitation, Ronaldo showed it to his assistant and said, "Find him." A flurry of phone calls and security messages followed. Outside, Mateo had begun to doze off, the biscuit long gone, his sign still clutched in his hands. Suddenly, a security guard approached him. "Hey you, are you Mateo?" he asked. Mateo stood, startled. "Come with me," the guard said. "You're wanted inside." Mateo thought it was a prank, maybe even a mistake. But as he was guided through the stadium, past roaring fans and brightly lit halls, his heart thumped harder than ever before. He was led to a quiet hallway near the locker rooms. The air smelled like fresh grass and sweat, and then the door opened, and there stood Cristiano Ronaldo. Not on a screen, not in a poster, but real, tall, smiling, and looking straight at him. For a moment, Matteo couldn't move. Tears filled his eyes. "Is this real?" he whispered. Ronaldo kneeled down and said, "It is now. I saw your message. I believe in you too." Matteo burst into tears. Ronaldo hugged him, handed him a signed jersey, and invited him to join the team on the pitch after the match. Tonight, Ronaldo said, "You're not just watching, you're part of the game."
When the match ended, players left the field and fans cheered. Then the announcer said something no one expected. "We have a special guest joining us tonight, Matteo." The crowd looked around in confusion, and then they saw a boy walk onto the pitch, barefoot, wearing Ronaldo's jersey, holding his hero's hand. The stadium erupted. Cameras flashed, people cheered like he'd just scored a goal. Matteo stood at the center circle in awe. Ronaldo gave him the ball and said, "Show him what you got." Matteo kicked the ball with all his heart. It flew straight, bounced once, and rolled into the net. The crowd exploded. That one moment, a simple kick, made him a hero in a stadium of 50,000. But more than that, he became a symbol of what belief can do. After the match, Ronaldo invited Matteo and his family to dinner. He learned about their struggles, their honesty, and Matteo's silent strength. Inspired, Ronaldo offered to sponsor Matteo's education and enroll him in a football academy. "Talent like this needs to be nurtured," he told his foundation's team. That night, Matteo didn't just meet his hero, he became the start of his own story. Years later, a player named Matteo would debut for Portugal's under-21 team. When asked in an interview who inspired him the most, he smiled and said, "A man who taught me that dreams don't live in stadiums, they live in our hearts. All I did was believe." And somewhere in the VIP seats, Ronaldo clapped, proud of the boy who once waited alone outside a gate.